Couples who have moved in together. What surprised you most about living with a male-female? TBH, it was that it worked out so well. My girlfriend and I moved in after about 2 months together due to circumstances of us both moving out of our current apartments, and it honestly worked out great. We didn't fight. We both cleaned and kept things tidy, and it was just a ton of fun. We moved cities for her grad school to get her doctorate, and I moved back in with my parents to help remodel and not pay rent as she moved right next to her uni, but are getting a place together within a couple months. After almost 2 years of dating, we're both still super excited to be living with one another again soon. I feel as though, given the situation and how living together usually goes for couples, it should have been a disaster. I had moved out of my old apartment before she was out of hers at first, but she had looked up how 1 bed 1 bath would be an option, and I was hesitant because of how things like that usually go with an SO, especially after so short of time dating. It was one of the best and happiest decisions of my life. I grew up with a brother, so I was pretty well prepared for living with a dude, but what surprised me the most was that my boyfriend has no issue leaving things lying around where they do not belong. Dirty plate, for example, is left on the couch. The mail he just opened ended up on top of the microwave. The towel he dried off with could end up on the kitchen table. Literally no rhyme or reason to the madness. My first roommate was a girl. She was the slobbiest person I've ever met. She had been a co-worker for ages and was always neat at work. It was stunning. Her bedroom was just piles of clothes. The living room was clothes and jackets everywhere. Half-drank cups of water, you name it. I loved living with her. It was a very comfy mess. My wife is quite a bit more of a neat freak and has a cute little temper. Sometimes I wanna live like Charlie and Frank. I had that for a year. I lived like Charlie and Frank with an old roommate, minus the sleeping on a pull-out couch. Once is enough for me in this lifetime. She works from home, but the television never leaves. Bravo. I leave for work. Bravo. Come home. Bravo. Go on the elliptical. Bravo. 24 freaking hours of these catty women, and sometimes men, yelling at each other. Bravo. Always being on is like the only thing we fight about, which is probably a good thing. But Jesus Christ, always with the bravo. Even when I entertain her and say, "What show is this?" "Oh, Southern Charm." "I don't really watch that show." Well, guess what? I've seen 50 episodes of Southern Charm passively when I come home, and I know you've done 20x that. God damn it, I hate Bravo. I'm getting a divorce. His ability to be doing nothing. He can lay on the couch and stare at the ceiling and do nothing and think nothing, and he enjoys it. I would pull a muscle or pop something from the strain if I tried to do that. The audacity. No, but real answer is how loud he needs things to be. Every song, movie, whatever has to be heard from 3 rooms over. And the stomping and door slamming. It's like living with a silverback gorilla. How messy women can be. I mean, there's hair everywhere. The sink looks like a disaster area after she cleans her face at night. Every time she gets water, she gets a new cup and leaves the old one out, not in the sink with other dishes. Her shower has like 27 old bottles of shampoo with a dad amount left in each. There are ponytail holders all over the house. I think the cat crap one out this morning. But she makes the bed every morning, so I guess it's alright. Bobby pins. There were bobby pins everywhere. On the TV stand, in the couch cushions, under the bed, on the windowsill, in the fridge. You couldn't turn your head without seeing 15 of those things. It's not as hard as everyone told me it would be. That's what she said. But seriously, understand you don't have to do absolutely everything together since you live together, and respect each other's boundaries, wants and needs. That one day they will eventually forget to flush a big dump, not check to see if a flushed one went down completely, and that one day, you'll find it and things change forever. I flushed one that swam its way back. She didn't believe me until she made me flush it again in front of her, and it happened again. We haven't moved in together, and my boyfriend has his own place. It's sterile. It only has the furniture he needs and nothing else. I bought him a little plant, but it gets lost in the vast emptiness. In contrast, my house is full of soft things and it just feels more like a home than a long-term hotel. Moving in together would be interesting if he wasn't so wonderfully nice. I lived for years with just a futon, a desk, and a chair, and a fuckton of kitchen stuff, Because I like to cook. I had exactly 2 pillows in my entire house before my now wife moved in. She has 4 just on her side of the bed. There are pillows on the couch. Every chair has a pillow. We have a closet where the top shelf is more pillows. So many freaking pillows. Admittedly, I am this woman. Not cushions, but pillows and fluffy blankets. Our house is comfort cove where you can snuggle and nap anywhere. We basically live like cats. How hard it is to get up in the morning when you have someone to snug. I have to get up early to help my husband, otherwise he stays in and tries to snuggle me. See? Going from having 2 pillows on the bed to like 15 or 20 seriously takes like 5 minutes just to throw all the decorative pillows out of the way before climbing into bed. Going from a bottle of shampoo and a bar of soap in the shower to bottles upon bottles of cream rinses and conditioners and even a big old Luftwaffe sponge hanging in the shower. And forget about ever seeing the top of the bathroom vanity again. And then the knickknacks spread all over the place. Useless stuff that seemingly serves no other purpose than to give you more things to have to dust. How little opinions he had on anything. I'd ask what he wants for supper. I don't care. I asked what he wants to do tonight. I don't know. Last week I asked what he thought about getting my nose pierced. I don't give a crap what you do. Sometimes it'd be nice to not have to decide or come up with suggestions all the time. My ex used a freaking planet worth of earbuds, Q-tips. Like seriously, I would clean the bathroom. The next day, 6 of them are sitting out having been used. God forbid I forgot about them because the next day it's 15 sitting out. I'm pretty sure she is living happy somewhere with her lovely BF, single-handedly killing the planet with her freaking ear gunk on those little woolly bastards. She needs reusable ones for any chance of our survival. Wait until you find out about how many tampons women go through. I think what surprised me the most is actually a few small things that make me laugh in the long run. Hair. She's got colored hair, blue, green, purple, and it's long. We're talking mermaid hair. It ends up in lots of different spots in the house where I least expect it, and sometimes it winds up sticking to me for me to find it hours later. Cleanliness. She's clean, but a different kind of clean. Dirty laundry will be in baskets. Things will get washed, but she makes messes, and they're contained messes that don't travel. Kind of like a little war zone of projects that she cleans when she can a day or so later. Following. She often ends up sitting next to me or just being around me more often than not. I actually quite like it, but there is a subconscious need or desire to be closer at most times. She'll often follow me into the bathroom and such, which is honestly hilarious. Sounds videos. We'll be watching or listening to something one of us knows very little about, and of course we get interested after some dialogue or snippets and start watching those videos together. It can be anything from sewing tutorials all the way to how a certain car was made. Blankets. She's the cold one and I'm the furnace. In the middle of the night or morning I'll notice the blankets are pulled all the over to her. That, or she'll always be in one while sitting laying on the couch. You'd think she'd melt with how many she often has. All in all there are lots more, but I genuinely find them endearing. We communicate about what needs to be done around the house or we should approach things, and it feels really good. How often he scratches or readjusts his junk. Seriously, it's constant, and it's not even subtle. We could be having a serious conversation about our finances and off he goes, hand down his pants. When I finally called him out for it after months, he simply said, "Hey, I gotta scramble the eggs every now and then." What does that even mean? A man's loose scrotum can get stuck to their leg and must be peeled off, and sometimes dong gets stuck to balls in the same way. Also, anytime there's an erection, erections don't comfortably point downward. Then there's the occasional scrotum itch that requires the pinch and roll method. Men are incredibly warm and sweaty while asleep, and will be sticky if they hug you as you sleep together. The reverse I've noticed is that girls seem to be quite cold. My last GF used to snuggle up to me every night saying I was like a giant hot water bottle, and I'd be like brrrr because she was like a human icicle. The pet peeves you never knew were there. For example, he doesn't like when I leave eggshells in the sink without pushing it into the garbage disposable. I don't like when he keeps getting new glasses of water because he misplaced his glass from an hour ago. They're little things, but I was so surprised how passionate I was about glassware. For your information, Don't put eggshells in the garbage disposal as they can damage them. Throw them in the regular garbage instead. He doesn't take the initiative to kill the creepy crawlies that waywardly stray into our apartment. If he sees a house centipede he looks at it, then promptly turns tail and walks away. Won't even tell me the dang thing is there. I'm a girl who grew up having to call dad to kill spiders and bugs and crap, so it's weird that I now have to be the one to viciously murder every insect who comes inside. My husband kills them and then leaves them there. I've had to ask him to please remove the spider corpses. Not a couple, but a girl living with 2 guys. They're about as tidy as I am, which is a plus, and their great room is overall. But the one thing that really threw me off was the complete lack of a schedule. I come home from work at 5, shower at 10, watch Netflix in my room until 12, and then I go to sleep. Pretty standard. The boys? There's no such thing as a dinner time. They'll vanish into their rooms for the night at completely random times, and I have no idea if they're sleeping or reading or whacking off or anything. When do they shower? Heck only knows. I've never heard them shower, but they're always clean. Sometimes they sit on the floor of the living room talking about their next project ideas until 3 AM. Bathroom trips can take anywhere from 2 minutes to an hour. It blows my mind that they can function without at least some semblance of a routine. Oh, and the amount of food they can consume is absolutely unreal. We regularly buy in bulk because they eat so goddamn much. It's beyond me. Maybe if they had a goddamn dinner time, they wouldn't snack so much. Dinner is a block of time we can spend doing other things. If we snack all the time we get the double of being able to eat and do something else at the same time. It's efficient. The different definitions of decorated. I thought a couple pictures and a plant or 2 was decorated. She wants like 3 things per wall with all kinds of trinkets, souvenirs, and more that all have to match some style we're going for. Dogs. I have been described as a dog Nazi. All my dogs are extremely well trained. I expect all dogs to have been taught the basic commands. My husband is the opposite. He doesn't mind unruly dogs. He loves it when the dogs bum rush him at the door and jump up into his arms. We have big dogs. It has taken over 10 years for us to find a balance between control and anarchy in regards to our pets. Me and my fiancée moved in together about a year before she passed away in a car accident, and the one thing I can truly remember being surprised about is how much more open we were with each other about anything. I have OCD and she never got to see how bad my panic attack could be until we moved in. She was so scared the first time that she called my mama, who I love dearly and has always been my source and strength even today, and asked how she could help me. Having OCD, sometimes you may feel something bad can happen if you tell what you are obsessing about. To this day I don't know what my mom told her, but Mama than Kayla could always tell when an obsession was building, and she got great about quelling the problem before it began. Spending all that time with her now we were moved and helped me become most aware and attuned to her needs and desires as a woman. I knew what upset her even if she didn't tell me, and all the little taboos when you first enter a relationship, such as bathroom habits and personal problems, became a thing of the past. It got to a point where I could talk to her about anything and everything. It's been almost 7 years since I lost her and I haven't had a relationship since her. I still mourn for her. I love you, baby. Update. Wow, everyone. The first thing I can say is I'm incredibly speechless, and for anyone who knows me would think that's almost impossible. Thank you all for the gold and silver and beautiful kind words. I can be honest when I say that as I write this I am overcome with tears, knowing that just describing my beautiful Kayla has touched you all so very much. I wrote this on my lunch break at work, and right as I got off work I saw all these beautiful things you all have commented. My beautiful family are all here and they thank you all as well. They have suffered with me, and for me trying to help me cope through love and tenderness. Especially my mother and father. For once I feel as if Kayla is everywhere again, and that's something I haven't felt in such a long time. It's truly touched me. Thank you all so very much for letting me tell her story, and I hope it helps out anyone who is going through what I have been going through, that they're not alone. This is an event that has helped me awaken my humanity. If you could all do me a favor, the next time you see the special person in your life, or special people, please take a moment of your time and smile and tell them how much that person truly means to you. We are all only here once, and when you do tell them, take the time to tell them about her and how powerful love can be. To love another person is to see the face of God. Much love to you all and God bless. My heart. I'm sorry for your loss. Mail here. Stereotypes of men. You would assume we were all messy cave bears. No, no, no. Women can destroy a bathroom in mere minutes. Oh, and period farts under the sheets that could peel paint off walls. OMFG. My wife while asleep one night belted a fart out that lasted literally 25 seconds. No exaggeration. It was way better than any fart I've ever had in my life. I was impressed more than anything else. I noticed that he don't put the toilet paper on the holder. They just sit it on the back of the toilet. And then I paid attention and it's a common trend amongst men. My partner is sneaky about it and strategically goes and hangs out elsewhere when the TP is low, so I have to change it. I don't really mind, but I have totally noticed. Having a helper. I'm always fixing or building something and as it turns out my GF is always ready to be a great helper. She's like the kid I don't have. Pass me this. Hold this. Did you learn anything? Think you could do that yourself in the future? It's more fun to share a project and teach than it is to accomplish by myself anyway. I think it's good for both of us. But seeing tiny black rubber bands showing up all over the floor is a downside lol. I think she uses them for her hair. Probably uses them to keep her hair out of her face while she helps you. He thinks it's weird that I give any house spiders a Hispanic sounding name. So far I've used Hector, Ernesto, Ignacio. They've become my buddies. If they stay in their corners and leave me alone of course. I had one spider friend who would stay in the top corner of my bathroom shower. Weeks went by with no issue as I saw a few small dead insects and even other spiders appear in his web. One day, I will never forget. My spider bro wanted to say hi. I was washing my hair with my eyes closed looking up when I opened them to see my friend touching my nose. He's gone. How dirty my partner is willing to let our house get. I refuse to clean daily so he doesn't get comfortable with me just doing everything. House is pretty much a bachelor pad until I do it. I love the sucker though. He's my freaking soulmate. That I can't just lay down and go to sleep when it's time. There absolutely must be 20 minutes worth of light and noises from the master bathroom while the wife preps for bed, taking makeup off, fixing hair, brushing teeth, etc. Oh, and when she does crawl into bed, turns the lights out, and says I love you, I have to be awake enough to say it back. Honestly, I may joke about it, but in the long run when one of us passes on before the other, those will be things we miss, and absolutely cherish. Not a couple, but I had to tell my male roommate not to wash his bike in our bathtub, and to clean the bathtub, and to clean the bath rug every so often so it doesn't become glued to the floor with mold. I was gone for a bit and had to pry the mat off the floor with a paint scraper. Been together 8 years, living together for 7. My girlfriend is tiny, so at the 2-year mark when the occasional poot noises started happening it made sense. Oh, she's finally comfortable farting around me, and because she's so small it's so tiny. Mine are man farts, loud, poorly timed, and questionable damp. Throughout the years she has become more and more comfortable. The farts got longer, louder, and more frequent. These days at any given time she can let out what can only be described as a rectal battle cry. The kind that instills fear in an enemy and pure bloodthirst in an ally. She farts so loud and so violently, I assume her butthole speaks some ancient Nordic language long forgotten. Where in that tiny little body can so much gas be stored? Where was she sneaking these farts out early on? And why? Why do they smell so freaking bad? Rectal battle cry. Freaking gold. The male depth perception of a clothes basket is naturally skewed. The clothes in question therefore end up beside said clothes basket rather than in it. Having to time gauge your hunger with theirs. My husband unintentionally fasts like a 17-year-old model trying out for the Victoria's Secret fashion show. He never eats anything. I'm convinced his entire daily calorie intake is from beer. He goes all day without eating a thing. then announces I'm starving at 3 PM like yeah, no crap. Meanwhile I'm a snacky McGrazer hobbit eating little meals around the clock. I guarantee I consume more calories than he does. It's maddening to try to keep up with him in terms of starving myself and then suddenly eating one meal for the day. Especially now that I'm pregnant. It has become a logistical nightmare to sync up our hunger and desire to eat. Just eat like I do, damn it. Clothes cover our bedroom floor. Clean, dirty, in between. All of her clothes are everywhere as she prefers to use the pile system in favor of the drawer system I prefer. My husband had never known what it was like to pull a strand of hair out of your butt crack until we started living together, and I had never known just how flatulent my husband is. He can't find anything, shoes, remote, phone, unless it's snacks I've hidden. The ability to forage for food never evolved out, I suppose. The amount of toilet paper women use is staggering. I understand you need it and I'm not complaining about it to my wife, but the amount used is crazy. I feel so bad for any married man that has multiple daughters as well. That man could retire 20 years earlier if not for money spent on toilet paper. At that point, the investment in a bidet is worth it. As a man, that the words coming from your girlfriend's mouth don't mean anything. Listen to her tone. I had this discussion with my GF a few days ago after she got frustrated with me. She was trimming some chicken breasts in the kitchen. I was on the couch in the living room. While she's still cutting, she says, "Babe, I might need you to help me throw out this chicken fat." It turns out that might didn't mean maybe I'll need your help when I'm done. It meant help me right now. A minute later she's frustrated with me, rhetorically asking me if I'm going to help. I said I didn't know she was done because she didn't say anything. I brought out the trash, and I came back and she said she was annoyed that I didn't pop up as soon as she said something. I told her that her statement led me to believe that she wasn't done yet, and that she'd ask for help if she needs it when she's done. She said that I should have read her tone better. I asked why she didn't just ask, "Can you help me take out the trash?" since it's much more direct and unambiguous. We agreed to meet each other halfway. I'll be more cognizant of her tone. She'll speak more directly. Moral of the story is, pay attention to tone. 1. When you see a woman's first hair gremlin pasted to the shower wall. Granted, I also didn't always get my beard trimmings. 2. The toilet paper going the wrong way and the speed the rolls disappear. 3. Priorities and definition of cleaning. 4. The you can go do your thing while I watch Netflix but not really. As a guy, I have a comb, a razor, and a toothbrush. When I first moved in with a woman, I was amazed by just how much bathroom space they take up. There may be more than 100 items in there. In addition, why do women like to hang wet panties, bras etc in the bathroom but not outside on the line? Finally, when you moved in with a woman, expect at some stage to have to call a plumber to unstop the shower drain, whereupon you will find handfuls of hair. Your wife will look at you and the plumber, who is holding up a foot-long tangle of hair, and insist that's not mine. This is probably the dumbest answer, but I remember moving in with my boyfriend, now husband, a couple of months after graduating high school, and saying, "Sorry, we're out of toilet paper" before he entered, and he said he just had to pee. And I was like, what? I had literally never considered that men don't wipe when they pee. Still a little weird to me, tbh. That my wife doesn't understand respect the fact that when I lay down to sleep for the night, it's not time to talk for the next 30-90 minutes. When my soak comes home from hockey, he puts the wet and smelly clothes into the dryer without washing them and then proceeds to leave them in the dryer for a day or two. Smelliest surprise ever when doing wash. I was surprised by the number of fights that could be prevented by just asking them to do the thing, instead of getting mad that it didn't get done. Oh, and requesting that the same be done for you. Flip side, you really want to get to a point where you do stuff without being asked all the time, because equality of emotional labor, but that part takes practice, haha. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.